Okay, great.
We're live.
We're
Yay.
live. Hey, we're live. How about it? Hey,
Welcome,
Larry,
welcome.
happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. Yes.
Hey, well, what are you going to be dressing for Halloween? I'm going as a Cubs guy, but hey, I guess that's not dressing up.
I think I'm going to go as a software engineer.
A software engineer? Oh,
Yeah, that's
okay.
pretty much
Again,
my normal attire.
yes. Does that come like what one of those overalls sort of look with the stripes?
Yeah,
You know, it's got the
actually,
big gloves.
I have a pocket protector. I don't have it in at the moment. I'll have to
Oh, that
find
one.
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of the other engineer, the one that goes.
Oh, a train
I've been
engineer.
working.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've been working on software all the live long day. That guy.
yeah. What I was, what we need to do is maybe we need to get some Cloud Talk shirts made, like a gas station. That's kind of blue collary.
That's very cool blue collar. That
That
is.
that would be very cool.
All right, that's coming up. Swag, Cloud Talk
Swag.
Show swag.
Mm.
All right. Speaking of swag, let's see how will we pay for that. And you're probably seeing on my screen the Adventures of Ralph's Money. And as we can
Wow.
see, Doge is taking a dive. Meanwhile, the other guys seem to be doing okay, but actually, Doge is still higher. Remember, I started with $10 Doge,
Right.
right? It is
Yes, you're still
1209,
up.
so I'm still okay.
You're still
Not
up.
so bad. But since then, Raquel was able to get some Doge going, and she was actually able to connect. She collected Doge by the mining thingy that you do, and
Yeah.
then you can choose what you got. So she's got some. So let's just say she's set up. Just for quick instruction for folks who continued the series. If I wanted to send her money now, do I do it from here? Or do I do it some other way?
So what
I
you would
want to
do
send her.
is,
I want to send her $10 because
oh,
hey,
so
fuck
go
it.
to Bitcoin. Click on your Bitcoin there,
My Bitcoin right here. Yep, there we go.
right there, and over on the right, see it says
Oh,
send.
send.
That's
Oh,
it.
that's it.
Type in a number.
All right. I think her email is well known to everybody in the world.
I don't think though you want to put an email there. I believe that the best thing for you to do at that point is
Yeah.
you're going to need her. Um, um,
Her phone.
no, you could do an email. Yeah,
Yeah. So I can
you
do
could
an
send
email.
an email.
Oh,
Yeah,
but I can also send a phone too, right? But here's
you
the
could
thing.
send it to phone. You could send it to an address. The address is kind of the easier, better way.
Oh,
So if you click on
address.
receive,
So, like
yeah,
for example, if address like a home address.
no. Click on receive over there to your right.
Okay.
That part. See, that's your Bitcoin address down below, and
Oh.
that's your actual wallet that lives in the cloud. Actually, it lives on the chain. So
Oh.
that is a unique identifier just for your Bitcoin.
Oh.
That's where all of your
So
money
if
lives.
somebody wants me to send me money, they can go ahead and scan this right now and send me
They
money.
can scan that, they can send you money. Yes.
Otherwise, it's this. This is what I would copy paste. If Raquel was the one who had to send me money, I would paste this into her chat.
Right. And likewise with the send, it's probably better to hit the send and then put that address in there. That's
Uh-huh.
the better way to do it. You're sending
So
it directly to her wallet.
so I put there's $10,
Mhm.
and then I paste her address over here. Is what I got
You
to do.
paste her address in there and
Oh, let's find out. Here we go. Let's go see if I can go get the chat over here. Raquel, I'm going to move this out of the way so we don't see your code. Raquel, if you're there, can you go ahead? Can you see where that is, Raquel? Maybe you can paste it and I can paste it. Yeah, if you go to your Bitcoin, the
the number,
coinbase.com.
yeah, the number down below. That's what you want.
Yeah, you want to go here and then you want to go copy this.
Right. There's the two little, if you look at the top
That
right, yeah,
that
that will
copies for
copy
you.
it.
All right, let's go take a look at the chat. Of course, it's oh wow, it's hidden. 1 second. Oh wow. Just so you know, this is how it came through. Black.
Yeah.
Wow, cool. All right, let's go see. Here it goes. Nothing secret there yet. 1 second. Here we go. All right, but now of course people are going to see it, but that's okay because that means they can send her money.
Right.
Okay. So here we go. So I'm going to do send, and I'm going to paste her code right there. That looks like a proper code. Does it end with K? Yeah, it ends with K. All right, here goes. Ready? I'm sending $10.
Send now.
Send now.
Yep.
It still has to confirm. And there's a network fee. Sending crypto is irreversible. I think that's actually important to know. Once you do it, that's it. It's over.
It's gone.
It's gone.
That's why we double check and make sure.
There's SMS. Hold on.
Now you have to check your
two-factor.
2-factor.
My 2-factor. Thank you for not letting me just do this. Of course, this is only for now. And confirm. Raquel's like wondering, when is that money coming? And it takes about 30 minutes, potentially. Just curious,
should
Raquel, is if you got it right away or if we're still waiting. It took it from me already. There, $10. You're still waiting? Okay. Well, we'll refresh. We'll come back later, as they say, like Julia Childs. We'll go do some more cooking, and we'll come back and check on it.
We'll come back and check. You might
All
have
right.
something from Uncle Larry in there too. Who knows?
You never know. Well, we
never
pasted
know.
it in, so it's in the chat. You never know.
You never know.
Never know.
So
speaking of that, I was trying to help Raquel really quickly, and I wanted to know about this thing. You know what everyone's talking about now? NFTs. They had this thing now where you can apparently get the NFT of the McRib. Did you hear about that?
No, I haven't heard that one.
The McRib as an NFT, so you can always have your McRib whenever you want it. McRib only comes once in a while, and every time it comes, we're like lined up to go get it. At least I am, right? So apparently that's an NFT. Maybe we should explain first to folks what the heck an NFT is.
Right. What is an NFT? An NFT, that stands for non-fungible token. So money is fungible, and that means that if I give you $1 and you give me a different dollar back, we're still net zero, right? Nothing's changed because each dollar is interchangeable with the others. The same way that coins are. So the Bitcoins that are the fraction of a Bitcoin that you just sent, Raquel, it doesn't have to actually be the ones you sent, as long as what gets there to her is the same monetary value.
Yes, correct. Okay?
Now, non-fungible tokens means that there's one and only one of each one. So that means they're unique and distinct. So each dollar that you have has a serial number on it.
Yes.
And if that mattered, if money were non-fungible, then that ID wouldn't matter. It doesn't to us when we're exchanging dollars, unless you're playing.
But that's how they can tell it's officially came from the Treasury, right? That's the identification to say, hey, this is an actual official dollar, and we're keeping tabs on our dollars, because if you don't have this number over here, somebody got to a copy machine and did the job.
Right. Thanks. So what non-fungible tokens do is they put a unique identifier in the blockchain that then is associated with your wallet, and that means that you have proof that you own this particular serial number dollar, or in this case, it would be a non-fungible token would be a piece of art, or people are doing NFTs for weird things like houses or
tweets. Actually, tweets. I heard tweets themselves are being non-fungible.
Yes, the first tweets, memes. People are turning memes into non-fungible tokens, and it's really proof of ownership. And when people are minting these NFTs, what they're doing is they're creating. It's sort of like collectible cards is another way to look at it. Okay, so if you look at say Topps baseball cards, they're not equally distributed. Okay, there are some that are more rare than others, and that's part of the reason that part of the reason that they do that is because what they're after is they're trying to make them more valuable, those that are more rare.
Got it.
Same thing with Pokemon cards or any of those. So non-fungible tokens, same kind of idea. So OpenSea.io is a place that you can actually go and create tokens. They've got a whole.
Is this the only place that does that, or is there other places?
No, there are other places you can do it. For me, if I were going to do it, I would probably go ahead and write a smart contract and put it on the Ethereum cloud, or on the Ethereum chain rather.
You mean using code? That is
using code. Yes. So I would write some code and have it run on the Ethereum blockchain.
Oh boy.
So maybe we'll play with that.
We'll play with that a different time, but that's definitely so. Well, let's just say the reason why, like someone like Larry would use code, it's not so much that he doesn't want to pay somebody or see something else. That's his total assurance that he's in full control of the activity when you do it with code. Well, just the same reason why we write code, but some of us are too busy and we're going to use the cloud. And so here it looks this OpenSea appears to be a place where we can actually do this.
Right. So one of the things you can do when you create an NFT is you can add what's called a royalty to it.
Uh-huh.
And not only do you get the initial purchase price, right, when you sell it, but every time it changes hands, you scrape a little bit off the top. So you get a little bit of
Oh.
a royalty. So when you use
Oh.
OpenSea, they're going to add a small royalty to it. And so you're going to be paying them, you know, for hosting, for doing all the different things that they do.
So
So,
over here it's saying I can just open up the it's saying install. It's asking for an extension. Is that an extension on the
right.
browser?
So it is. It is an extension on the browser. MetaMask, the one at the top, the little fox, is the
Yep.
one that most people are more familiar with. If you're using NFTs, that's one that a lot of people use.
Oh.
Your Coinbase wallet though will do it as well. They've recently added that,
Uh-huh.
and there's a lot of different ways that you can
Holy
uh,
smokes. Look at
hold
that.
your things. Mhm.
All right. So these ones, in fact, some of these we sort of saw, and as you can see, mobile only for these guys.
Right.
All right. So if I let me see, is it safe to go through the walkthrough over here,
Why don't
or
we wait? Why don't we wait
while we
for
wait for another time? Yes,
yeah,
we'll
let's
talk
do a
about it
whole
another time.
show on that because
Yeah.
I think it's a reasonably straightforward thing to do, but
Uh-huh.
it's something that you want a native guide for. And
Got
I'm
it.
honestly not in it enough to be able to do it off the fly.
Ah, okay. So, all
Give
right.
me a minute or two to practice, and then we'll see.
Let's practice. Good idea. All righty. So, anyway, so that's the adventures of Ralph's money and potentially Raquel's money. Like I always tell Raquel, one Emmy and all of this is paid for.
There we go.
Hey, maybe you can make an Emmy non-fungible at some point. A picture of the Emmy, and it's like me holding the Emmy as a non-fungible
See,
token.
yeah, but you don't own the rights to the
To
actual
the actual Emmy. That's true.
artifact. Yeah.
That's
So
true. But the picture of me with the Emmy, or the picture of me with, say, I don't know, a famous actor doing the
yes,
Emmy, I could sell that because that's all
if you
those.
took the picture, yeah, it copyright still applies to NFTs.
Right. Oh, right. So you can't just go and take someone else's thing, like,
Right.
oh, I just NFT'd Moby Dick. It's like, nope, sorry, that's
All of Bob Dylan's works.
all of
You
Bob
know.
Dylan's works, and just do it.
Yes.
Say
NFT
Bob.
songs,
Yeah.
right?
Bob won't be
That's
too
the
happy
way
if
to
you
do.
do that. Huh? Bob says, no, don't take the stuff.
Yeah.
Everybody must get Bitcoin. Nope, he's not going to say it.
Doge.
Doge. Oh,
Everybody must get Doge.
Uh-oh.
There
Uh-oh.
we go.
Now we're going to get sued for
That's our
sure.
new meme. Come on.
That's our new meme. All right.
We'll
Hey,
NFT that puppy.
so, you know what we haven't done in a while? We haven't actually looked at like Cody stuff lately. We've been just like playing around, going here and there. I saw you were showing me some stuff the other day.
I can do a little demo.
A little demo of
A
something
little demo.
happening. It's a little cloudy.
A little cloudy.
Let's go ahead and share your screen.
Okay.
Let's make sure it's coming out through the other side of the world. Raquel confirmed that our screen is now showing in the broadcast.
And while we're waiting, Raquel, let us know if you've actually received the money.
Oh yeah.
Inquiring minds want to know.
Money check. Money check. All right. So there. Somebody's making money on our money, just like the real banks do, in that 30-minute span. Okay. Figures like an ACH. Okay, let's go ahead. Let's see. Oh, look at this. Oh,
so I have a little
Visio. Hey,
I have,
Visio, by the way,
a Visio, right? I'm an architect.
Yep.
I've got to do Visio at least once a quarter. So this is just a little demo that I did. I worked up for a client to play with logic apps, and one of the things that really people are wanting to do with Azure and clouds is they want to kind of oil the squeaky wheel, right? We don't want to change everything. Can we just fix this one part that's a little bit broken so that we can continue to work while in a different stream of work, we're actually, overhauling the whole system. And one thing that has been increasingly difficult is dealing with legacy data and dealing with legacy data systems.
Yes.
So a lot of our clients are big and they have their own clients, people that are doing business with them. that are using even more antiquated systems.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes they need to, like, for example, get an FTP, right? People are still FTPing files around.
Oh yeah, we were showing that there before
Wow.
that you can actually do
Yeah,
that in SharePoint still.
you could do that in SharePoint, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you can't do it directly to Blob Storage.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did was I set up a little virtual machine um, that is running a Linux distribution and has an FTP server.
Mm-hmm.
And then I set Data Factory up to watch that FTP server and watch that directly. And around every 30, 40 seconds, well, actually, at this point, I don't have it set up on a timer.
Right.
So when I click a button, it'll actually check. But I
Oh.
would set it up on a timer if I wanted
Mm-hmm.
to trigger it.
Yep.
And it could watch that and watch for files to land. And when they land, it can do things with them. So
Uh-huh.
Data Factory is not just for doing SIS type packaging. It can also work with binary files. And so I'm leveraging it a little bit
Mm-hmm.
out of the box um, to take a file from this FTP server,
Uh-huh.
move it into Blob Storage,
Aha.
and it's that simple.
Wow.
Then I have a Logic app that actually is on a timer, so it is watching this Blob Storage, and anytime a file lands, it
Mm-hmm.
copies it from one container to another.
Uh-huh.
And both of these containers are hot, but um, Azure has 3 different levels of blob storage. I don't know if you knew that. It's one of those things that you don't really think about because normally when you provision blob storage, you're using it for like rapid file access. You're using
Right.
it on the
Exactly.
disk. So that's what's called hot storage. So um, the SLA for hot and cold storage are different. So
Naturally.
hot storage has a better SLA. It's 3 nines on availability and 4 nines on survivability. Here, let me bring up that. I've got a screen over here. Here we go. Here's the summary of the tier access. So
Aha.
there's hot, cool, and then there's archive. And archive is one that um, I wasn't aware of for a
Oh,
while.
offline.
I'm learning about it. Yeah, it's offline. So it is a true backup. And the archive tier, um, instead of having a millisecond latency, it's got hours latency. So what I'm not sure what they're actually using for the archive tier, but what I like to picture in my head is one of those tape robots, right?
The one.
That's moving up and picking up the tape and pulling it out and sticking it in the tape drive.
Right.
That's what I like to believe that they're using on the back end. But the difference is in price. Okay, so
Oh.
this is the price for the different data storage blobs.
Mm-hmm.
So for a hot blob, the first 50 terabytes of data is 1.8 cents per gigabyte.
Wow.
So the cool is just a penny a gigabyte, and the archive is
A penny of a
might as well
penny.
round it up. Yeah, it's a tenth of a cent per gigabyte.
Whoa.
So
Okay.
that's a substantial difference.
Of
Now,
course.
when you put something in archive, you're supposed to leave it for a certain amount of days. So
Right.
so the cool archive and early deletion. So in addition to the per gigabyte monthly charge, any blob that's moved to the archive tier and deleted before 180 days is up,
Oh,
you
it's
have to
like
pay
like when you put it into a money market, you get penalized for taking it out.
penalized for early withdrawal.
That's
Yes.
right.
So
Ah.
that's kind of, it's neat. The fun part for me though was building out this kind of network of things because
Right.
each one of these pieces is really easy. It's when you start putting them together that it gets hard. So if
Ah.
you think about one of those puzzles where all the pieces are the same color, each piece is simple, but when you try to put them all together, sometimes it gets a little fun. It
Right.
gets a little difficult, and that's for those of us that are kind of your native guides, right? Your cloudy people.
Mhm.
Um, we we go out and learn about all of these pieces before you even get involved, so that you
Naturally.
don't have to be.
We are the ones that actually take the trip first, and get
That's
there.
right.
So we have the muscle memory at least, so we don't waste time looking around.
Right. So the logic app that I've got, if we look here, this is the resource group. These are all the different resources that I have. But let me just show it running because that's more fun.
Okay.
So this is my Azure Storage Explorer.
Let's make it big on the screen there if we can.
I cannot increase the size of this, so maybe we can
try Control Plus, see what happens. Control
Control
Shift Plus.
Yep. Nope.
Nope.
This is the Azure Storage Explorer. It's a separate app.
Oh, okay. Let's stay with.
So let me upload a file. So this is uploading directly to that first level. So I'm going to upload not a folder, excuse me, a file.
Of course.
Hang on, cancel, upload a file. And I'm going to upload my happy face. So 0.jpg just got uploaded into this place. If I look at the target container, there's nothing here yet.
Right.
Okay. Because the logic app that's sitting in the background, it's polling. So if I come to the logic app, this is when a blob is added to my test container for the logic app.
Copy.
It's going to copy it. So this looks for it and this copies it. I tell it every 30 seconds, just for the demo purpose. But you could set it to whatever you wanted. Your frequency can be, months, days, seconds.
But just as a note, this is a pay-as-you-go when you do Azure Functions, because this looks just, if folks that are coming at us remembering the Power Platform, Power Automate is you pay the license and it'll do it. This is pay-as-you-go, so pennies on pennies. But if you can do a lot of it, you can go beyond the API capacity of Flow. That's the point of it.
That's a good point. So the pricing options for the logic apps, one way you could do it if you wanted to, I'm doing consumption plan because this is a pay-as-you-go, right?
Yes.
So it's each action that I take is what?
And look, the first 4,000 actions are free.
Yeah, and forget the math. The first 4,000 are free. So I'm not going to hit 4,000 doing demos on this.
Yeah.
Okay. And then there's other things, the different connectors that you use can cost, but it's not a trivial cost when your scale gets large.
Right.
Okay. But this is just, this is a consumption plan. You can actually do a standard plan, which means they're basically going to set up a virtual machine for you that runs the logic apps. So really the cost of this is the cost of just a virtual server.
Basically renting your spot on that virtual server.
Right. Okay. So yeah, that's pricing. If I come back to the storage app and reload this page, I'll see that the JPEG has landed. So on our Visio, what I did was I just stuck a file directly into here. This logic app picked it up and copied it over to here. So it's a copy. That means that it's still in the original location.
A fungible copy. Yes.
Yeah. Yes. So this guy's still there.
Right.
Let's look at the FTP real fast, and then I'll get to hopefully something that's a little more fun. So I'm going to leave the 0 out. I'm going to do the rest of these.
All right.
And I'm just going to copy them into this, which is an FTP server. And it is, if I come back here, it is this virtual machine. Okay, so I set the virtual machine up. I open up the SSH port. I have FTP installed on the server, so I can FTP into it. So
right. You have an IP and everything to get there, so no problem.
I've got an IP and everything to get there. So if I look, those files got copied over. If I refresh this, though, they're still going to be there because remember I said that the data factory I don't have on a trigger. So if I want to actually see this work, I need to come back over to here and drop in this logic app data factory, and this is the data factory itself. So, so this guy has a source, which is the FTP file,
Mm-hmm.
and it's got a sink, a destination, which is the blob storage. So if I run this, and I'm just going to run it in debug mode because I'm not going to add a trigger to it because I don't want it actually spending a lot of time. So this is queued. What we should see when this finishes running is we should see these files go away because
Oh,
it's
because
moving.
it's moving. There it is. They're gone.
So those files are gone. So if I come back to my cloud storage, this blob
Mm-hmm.
now has, let me reload, refresh. It now has all of these files.
Ta-da!
So the target container has them as well. Because remember that in the background, that logic app every 30 seconds is polling and copying those files across. Now, that's more pieces of our Visio diagram, but not all of them. So we've got this section
Right.
as well. So we have one more piece, and that's the timer test. And the timer test, if I jump in here, this one, and timer test is a little bit more complex.
All right.
Because I've got it set up to every month, right? Every month, starting at the first of this next month at 5 Zulu time, right? 5 USC. It's going to run this script. This script is going to list the blobs that are in that second container.
Okay.
And then inside a for each loop,
Yep.
right? This is a for each loop.
Yep.
I have a conditional. I have an if statement. Okay. This if statement says if the name ends with PNGs.
Yep.
Now, what I would really have instead of this, if I were doing something real, I would do a last modified date.
Yep.
If the last modified date is 6 months or greater, then I want to move it to archive.
Right.
So this is just a way to keep your files clean.
Right.
So if the case is true, then I'm going to copy the blob just like I did before. I'm then doing something a little different. I'm adding a post. This is a post to application insights. So this is a way that you can add logging to your logic apps.
Well, hey, there you go, Mr. 12 Factor.
Okay. Yeah, you've got a log. And notice that
all kids love log.
All kids. So this is the body. I have access to all of my variables, right? Everything about the file. I can pull any of the pieces. In this case, what I pulled was the name of the file. And then actually down here, this is a function where I'm doing some computation. I'm getting the UTC now.
Yep.
So once that's done, then it deletes the blob. Okay. Now, before I run this trigger, I do want to come over to the logs. Let me
go see the logs.
Logic app log, not this. That's not what I want. I want to be back in my. See, this is what I get for playing. This is what I get for playing with all of these browsers. I get too much stuff going on.
That's true.
So this is the logic app logs. And if I run this query, I can see that the last one was 4 o'clock UTC. Okay. So
-6 for us here in Central, -5 for you there in the East.
Nothing up my sleeves. I'm going to come back over and run this logic app.
He's going to manually kick it off, run it.
Right. I'm not waiting until November 1st. Our show would be way too long.
Right.
Raquel would leave and we would be stuck.
And we'd be stuck big time.
So what's great about this is actually the run. So this isn't the designer anymore. This is the actual run. So if I open up my condition, I can see what files it found. So when I said list blobs, this is the list of blobs that it found. Okay.
Wow. Yep.
When I have this condition, this for each, it lets me step through each of the for each. So the input was a false. Show the raw inputs. Oops.
Right.
Expression false. No, let me come back. Ah, should have clicked on that.
Uh-oh.
Okay,
Went too
anyway.
quick.
Yeah. So if I click next, I go to number 2.
Uh-huh.
Next is number 3. Number 3, the expression is true.
True. Yep.
That means that this hit. And so I can see that I made my post and one item was received and one item was accepted by Application Insights.
Right. No
which
errors.
means that I should be able to come over and
Mhm.
rerun this and
Refresh. It should have been there.
yes, it should be here. And
Well,
yet
then we'll
it
have
is
to make a
not.
sacrifice to the demo gods.
Oh, demo gods.
Try
Why?
Control 5. Control F5. I think it's a refresh issue.
Why has
You
thou
try
forsaken me?
reload. There we go. Come on, Azure.
Run. Oh,
For some reason, it's just not showing up in the logit. It's somewhere stuck in the queue.
it is. Oh, well.
Remember, you didn't heat this up before you played with this, right? So
Right.
here's the thing. Depending
So
on
this
what you pay for this, it takes a while for these things to do the first time. Afterwards, it cooks, and then it goes back to sleep.
Right. It's been a while since I did it. This is the same thing that we would see, though. The cloudtalk.png got moved. This is what we should be seeing.
Right.
Anytime now. Oh, look.
Aha, there it is. We just had to be patient.
Yes. All right. So here we go. So this bottom one is it, and it's the same file because that's what I copied.
That's right.
So there we go. And now if I look at the in storage, the Storage Explorer, this file exists here. If I reload, it's gone.
It's gone.
And it's in the cold container.
It's in the cold container now. Look at that.
And it's just nominally a cold container because I'm really using hot because I don't want to pay. I'm cheap.
Yeah, because you have to reserve these things and all that stuff. So the point, though, is for demonstration purposes, this could have been X.
It could have been X, right?
It could have been X. So,
yeah. In fact, if I come back to my Logic apps, it doesn't even have to be Azure. It doesn't have to be Blob Storage.
Oh, yeah. It could have been on-prem. It could have been AWS or Google, and it could have been anybody.
Right. It could be anybody. If we look at the number of connectors that they have, it's amazing.
Let's go see the connectors. Let's go check it out.
And I'm going to go ahead and add a new step and look at all the different connectors.
Yep, this reminds me of doing the doing it in Power Automate, but yeah, same thing. Look at that. Whoa. Holy smokes.
Tons and tons.
Whoa.
Hey, here's one near and dear to your heart.
And remember, worst case is you can make a custom connector. I know that.
Yes. But they have most of the connectors. Yes. So when someone adds a comment,
Tora for Jira.
When someone adds a comment to your Jira stories, you can actually have Logic apps that pick that up and can process with it, can compute with it. Okay, same kind of thing that we have with the, if I come back over to the data factory, I didn't really look and show you all of the pieces of that. Man, there are a crazy number of services that you can add, right? Whoa. So move and transfer. Let's just look at copying data. Okay, I'll drop this down.
Right.
When I come here to source and add a new source, I have tons of different places.
Oh man.
That I can pull from, and it automatically knows how to do them. Right.
Sybase.
Sybase. Yes.
Ooh. Before there was SQL Server, by the way, there was Sybase, but that's another story.
Postgres.
Postgres, there we go. That's your favorite.
That's mine. Yeah.
The elephant in the room.
Yes. Let the elephant in the room remember all of your data.
Remember all your data, yes, because an elephant never forgets. Could you? You know what you could potentially do in here? You can like insert things like, oh, I don't know, AI. in the
Yes.
process, right? So you can put the piece over there. So let's say you wanted to do sentiment analysis. All right, here's a picture that is being uploaded. Well, you apply sentiment analysis to it to look at the picture. If it's a face, is it a sad face or is it a happy face? And sentiment analysis will give you additional data. It says, hey, happy face, hey, sad face.
Absolutely.
Bought
And
it.
really, it's just another piece in the stream, right? You're just putting in another little piece of pipe. You're making you're disconnecting the pieces and putting another
sir,
connector
this
in
is low
between them.
code. I'm going to tell you, this is low
It's
code.
low code.
What are we doing here? I mean, it's almost no code. You're barely writing any kind of thing. Maybe you're writing a URL string. You know,
Yeah.
maybe you're looking at a thing here, but it's very low code.
So I'm glad you said that. I'm really glad you said that, because one of the things that I want you to see is what's actually happening behind the scenes.
Oh, let's see.
So
Open those covers.
Let's pop the covers open a little bit.
Do people have to turn away, send their kids to bed to watch this one, or it's okay to look underneath?
I think it'll be okay. I think
Okay.
we'll be fine.
All right, let's look.
Let me find the. Oh, you know what? I don't know that I have that open.
Uh-oh, we got to open it.
Yep, let me open it. Azure.
Azure.
Actually, let me bring this off screen, because I'm not sure that I can show some of the client stuff, because I'm logging into the Azure DevOps. Okay, and some of the Azure DevOps pieces I have are client related. So okay. Perfect. I will be right back to you.
Okay. Hold on a second. You're looking for it right now. So let me go back to my screen for just a moment.
So here, we can bring it up. We can bring it back up.
You're bringing it back up? Okay, go ahead. Share your screen.
So I'm shared. And behind the scenes, there is a Git repository. Everything is Git now.
Yes, of course.
So Linux not only created the one of the top operating systems, he also made Git, which is underlying the entire internet at this point. If I go to the repos and look at the files, you remember the data sets that I had?
Yes.
They're JSON files. There they are. That's all of them. The linked service, that SFTP, that's the username that I have, and there's the encrypted credential. It is in a JSON file. There's my host IP.
This is code that you actually can check in, and now if you do an update, you can do it literally from here and push.
Yes. So the question is it low code or is it friendly code?
Friendly. It's a new one. It's called friendly code. Well, Jason is friendly, as in, Jason is friendly as in it could be 100,000 lines long, but it's still friendlier than, say, a 12-line C# where you have to go and scratch your head and say, what exactly is happening here?
Well, and what's interesting is, if you think about it, I can build an Azure a DevOps pipeline.
Yeah.
Right. And that pipeline can take my JSON that, my developers check in.
Yep.
And move it into QA. And as it moves it, it can transform it. It can replace this, which is the host for my dev IP address, with the QA IP address.
There's the money shot right there. That's it.
And then the same thing for production. So you never get anything into your logic app.
That's right.
That doesn't come through
that encrypted credentials. The developers can't go in, like, have a secret backdoor into production, because that gets flipped.
That can, when I put this credential in, I could actually have it stored in. So let me create a new data source just to show how it works. Let me do
pick a source, any source. There we go.
Yeah, let's do an SFTP one real fast. I wanted to pull a binary file, because one of the other things you can do is you can have it pull from Key Vault.
Right.
That's the other thing you could do.
Of course.
You could just have it pull from Key Vault. So Yeah.
Oh, so
New
by the way, that's not
service,
an optional thing.
Azure
If you're
Key
doing
Vault.
this in real production, I would say, yeah, use
Yeah,
use
don't
Key
use
Vault or something like it, whatever.
right.
But
Something that lets you rotate them. Right. You
yes,
want these passwords to be rotated. You want them to be separate from the code. You do not want the people
secrets,
that
passwords, you name it.
have
Yeah,
the code to have the secrets and the people that have the secrets to have the code. So anyway, um,
look at
yeah,
that.
this is a much better story than the old paradox or access.
Oh, I
When you would
remember
do access
Paradox.
forms,
Yes.
doing those and moving them from one in development environment into QA environment
Right.
just never worked because they were binary blobs and you couldn't really modify them. So you ended up, you know, twisting your head and coming at it sideways and reading from a database file, your configurations, and it was just awful. Well, everything here is out in the open. It's just in Git. It is JSON, and you can do with it what you will.
Wow.
So that's my demo. That's
Wow. How about it, folks? We got a nice refresher. So this is like a starter, actually. So there's other tools, and
right.
we already hinted on things like the sentiment analysis with AI, and that's just Data Factory. Now, and earlier we were talking about things like Synapse, where you take that and you go yet to a higher level. So in that
Yes.
particular case, you brought in the data, and your data is being kept because everything's small, so it doesn't really matter. But if this was at scale, imagine having to bring in all that data before you manipulate and play with it, right?
Right. And see, I'm doing binary files, and
Yes.
so really I'm just doing pictures.
Right.
You could have something that would watermark the pictures and then put them out somewhere else. There's a lot of things like that you can do, but it
Right.
gets really interesting when it's text data or
Yes.
when it's database, tables full of
That's right.
data. So
Exactly.
one of my earliest jobs was doing an ETL process for an auto repair store, right? That sold auto parts.
Wow.
And one of the things that we did was I worked on the transform, and that was in Perl. Remember
Pearl.
the
Oh
language
yeah, I
Perl?
remember Pearl. I remember Pearl.
It's still alive and it's still there, but this was 20 years ago, something like that.
Yep.
And we were doing Perl to do the transforms, and they were pulling these data files, these just big text files from 1,000 different stores across the United States, and they were all coming in, and they were having to be transformed and loaded. And the reason that we were doing the job and rebuilding their system
Right.
is because they actually could not stay open 7 days a week because it took more than 24 hours to process those files.
Oh dear.
So they had to be closed on the weekend so that they could catch up.
Oh my gosh.
So their inventory would work. So
Wow.
we took something that took that long and with Perl and sync sort, we were able to drop it down to where it took
And
minutes
that's before it was really a cloud.
and that's before there was a cloud, right? So these files were being FTP'd into a location. They were being picked up by a job, and it
By
was
a
just
job on a server, on a
on a
regular
server.
server. Yep.
And all of that's hard. Now this is easy. So yeah, being able to drop a data factory app rather, that can pick the data up and transform it and send it to something like um, Azure AI,
Yeah.
right? There's machine learning that, as you mentioned, can do sentiment analysis, can
Right.
pick out keywords, and think about that. You could route it to the correct person based on the keywords.
That's right. Or based on, based on sentiments, like, hey, all happy people go over there, all
Right.
sad people go to that guy.
So we're gonna pull all of this data into our
The Dr. Phil app, right? We're
the
going to
Dr.
find out
Phil.
who's going to go there and who are sad. We're going to send them to Dr. Phil, the Dr. Phil app to be
Right.
processed. And
You send them to an escalation,
I'll leave it at that.
right?
Or de-escalation, whichever one.
De-escalation, yes.
Exactly.
So this is though pulling the data all the way in. You were telling me about something new that they have where I don't actually have to pull the data in.
Oh yeah, exactly. Like in Synapse, essentially it's serverless SQL, right? So you pull it in, you're doing that transform in there. Basically, Synapse figures out where it's going to do its own work, right? Just like when we're doing a logic app, we don't specify it's going to be in a VM. Remember that? We have cold, that concept. It happens wherever it happens, and only the data that you use is what you pay for.
Oh.
You get it? All
Yes.
yes. That we'll get there on another time, but I think that's what you want to take a look at as your next level.
Yes, I will bring that in. I need to get away from my binary files then. I'll
Yes.
have to come up with something else. Maybe tweets or I don't know.
Yeah, tweets is good. That's an easy one because at least there's an open thing for that. You know what the Synapse examples uses, like apparently New York City cab data is available for free, and they use it in their examples. That actually might be useful for you, who's probably affected by
I'm in New York.
City cab information. You're in New York, why not? So
Why not?
anyway, go check that out. That's going to be for next time. A little homework for Larry. He's going to go look at Azure Synapse and the sample data with the New York City cabs information.
Absolutely. And NFTs.
And
We'll need to talk
NFTs.
about NFTs
Yes,
later.
NFTs, because we got to figure it out, because I want Raquel to, like as I say, win that Emmy, get all that money, make all that Bitcoin, and make me rich, or make the family rich. Hey, it's about family, right? Family.
That's right.
Family. Hey, got to be with the family. I'm just saying. Familia, right, Raquel? Uh-oh. Raquel's like, oh, I don't know these people.
I don't know.
She's on mute. Okay. That's her favorite state, on mute.
Yeah, right? My son is 9. He's starting high school.
Uh-oh.
Or he's in high school now. So
yeah,
dear. We're 3 or 4 more years and he's out of the house. So I'm not worried. I'm not worried about him bringing money back in. I'm just glad, when he gets to the point that he's going to stop taking it out. Kids are expensive.
This is true. Well, do teach him about the mute button, because it's very important to have that skill.
Yes.
Right. As we determine when to turn it on and off. Okay.
Yes. And
hey,
don't take pictures.
Don't take pictures. Exactly. I think we have enough right now to keep people drooling and wondering back, and hopefully commenting on stuff. And I have an idea and a guest that we should probably talk to. Hey, we're going to be, just a reminder, we're going to be having guests soon. So watch the space for more.
Yes.
All right. Raquel, I think you're okay to sign us out. We have a few minutes return to the ether.
Yes. Have a good weekend, everybody. Merry
Raquel, did you get your money, by the way?
I thought you were just gonna send me $10, but then I was very surprised to see that there was way more than that. I'm like, did Bitcoin?
That's Larry. I dropped you what I dropped. What I dropped Ralph.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, okay. So that wasn't for me, Raquel. That's an anonymous donor who saw your code.
Thank you.
Anonymous donor who saw your code. So now that we have it posted, it looks like you could get money for no reason, and it won't be from a spam that the prince has sent you the money to pick it up at the airport.
Right, because at this point the money's actually there. I mean, isn't that weird? I mean,
yeah. So I'm going to tell my Nigerian prince, hey, if you're for real, here's my Bitcoin. Send me the money.
Right. Why not just convert it to Bitcoin? You could send it to yourself, whatever.
Yes, there we go.
Why send it to the Caymans? Just put it in the blockchain.
Put it in the blockchain. You don't have to send nothing to the Caymans. You're okay, right. Princey. All right. How about it?
All right. Well, have a great weekend, everyone. Merry Halloween.
Merry Halloween.
You too.
And then our next show will be post Halloween. We'll see what scares us next.
All right.
All righty. Take care.
Bye.
Bye. And